If power can silence every witness, does truth still matter? A dying priest is about to test that question against a lord who believes rank has made him untouchable. Welcome back. Before this medieval mystery begins, leave a like and subscribe in advance. England, 1380. Father Nicholas preaches that earthly suffering earns a heavenly reward. The sermon sounds convincing until Nicholas meets a married woman after the service. Her husband catches them. A fight erupts and the man is accidentally killed. Rather than face a church court, Nicholas abandons his robe and runs. He is now an adulterer, a killer, and a fugitive priest with dangerously recognizable manners. In the woods he finds traveling players gathered around the dying Brandon. They end the man's suffering at his request, but Nicholas mistakes mercy for murder and exposes himself. Their leader, Martin, explains what happened. These people are actors, not bandits. The splendid clothes are costumes, and they are traveling toward a promised performance in Durham. A broken axle forces the company to seek repairs. Nicholas asks to join them. Brendan left an opening, and a hunted priest urgently needs a convincing new identity. His addition is a painfully bad imitation of a heron. Somehow, that nearly wins everyone over. They accept him, though Tobias notices that this supposed peasant has remarkably soft hands. A collapsed bridge sends the wagon west into the Geese's gloomy town. On the square, a deaf and mute healer named Martha is being sentenced to hang. Martha is accused of murdering Thomas Wells, a young boy. Lord Deguise's confessor, Brother Simon Damien, declares her guilty while the townspeople carefully avoid discussing details. The actors need money. Not another problem. They rent an animal pen and perform Adam and Eve. But sacred tradition earns fewer coins than the pigs standing nearby. Brendan was promised burial and consecrated ground, yet the church demands an impossible fee. Nicholas secretly puts on clerical robes, performs the funeral, and reveals his true calling. Martin does not betray him. Instead, he offers friendship and admits their old religious plays are dying. Audiences want stories happening beside them, not safely buried in scripture. That inspires a dangerous experiment. They will stage Thomas's murder. In the 14th century, replacing biblical figures with living neighbors and fresh accusations is practically revolutionary. The company separates to gather facts. Jack Flint, who found the body, repeats the official account nervously. The sheriff is equally evasive and wants these curious performers gone. Nicholas and Martin visit Martha in prison. She cannot hear or speak, but signs that the monk planted Thomas's purse in her home after the boy disappeared. A convenient witch planted evidence, and an accused woman unable to defend herself. I do not buy it, and Damien personally participated in the search that supposedly proved her guilt. Martin becomes obsessed with the production, while some actors fear retaliation. Hunger and curiosity win. That evening they promise to show the murder exactly as authority described it. At first, the audience watches silently. Then Thomas's mother protests that her son would never have followed Martha willingly. Other spectators begin correcting the official story too. The performance becomes a public interrogation. Martha could not have broken a strong boy's neck, nor carried his body to the place where Jack claimed to find it. Martin grasps what has happened. Everyone knows one fragment, yet each person is afraid to speak alone. Theater gives the town a safe way to assemble those fragments publicly. The actors earn more money after the show, but Martin is no longer thinking about repairs. He cares for Martha, while Nicholas finally directs his curiosity towards saving someone. That night, Nicholas opens Thomas's grave. His priestly experience with death reveals a contradiction. The boy died later than the court's carefully prepared timeline claims. The body reveals something worse. Thomas was imprisoned and sexually abused before his death. Martha could not be responsible. Someone powerful has been using a monk to procure children. A royal justice catches Nicholas at the grave, yet warns him instead of arresting him. He is investigating too, though Martha's innocence matters less to him than royal politics. The troop has already headed toward the northern gate, but Nicholas catches them with this evidence. He asks everyone to return, knowing they now challenge an entire system. Martha's father disowns her. Her healing and private conversations with God frighten him more than a false murder charge. Religious respectability proves easier than parental courage. The trail leads Nicholas to Brother Damien. The monk is not the principal killer, but he delivered boys to his master and planted evidence to preserve his own life. Nicholas offers him escape in exchange for a written confession. Damien is too frightened of his patron to accept responsibility, even for crimes he has already helped commit. Damien is soon killed, destroying their chance of obtaining a direct confession. The players retain evidence, suspicion, and the only weapon they truly understand, a stage. The royal justice finally explains himself. Digges is preparing rebellion, and the crown has watched him for months. Murdered children were merely leverage for recruiting a witness. I cannot excuse that calculation. The justice allowed children to suffer for a supposedly greater political victory, dressing cowardice in the respectable language of strategy. Martha has only minutes before execution. The company returns to the square and blocks the procession. Martin asks the townspeople to watch the story again this time, without convenient lies. The actors confess their first production was wrong. Poverty made them exploit another person's tragedy, while ignorance made them repeat authority's version. Then the corrected play begins. On stage, Thomas never follows Martha. A servant of Damien lures him away, holds him all day, and delivers him to a master whom the town already fears. Martin names that master before everyone. Lord Robert Digges abused boys and then murdered them. The name previously whispered behind doors now fills the entire square. Guards move to crush the performance, but the audience has understood. The actors free Martha amid the confusion and run with her toward the sanctuary of the church. The church appears safe until Digges steps from the shadows. He calmly discusses fate, faith, and authority with Nicholas, treating public accusations like mild entertainment. Nicholas presents the evidence. The Lord answers with a challenge to single combat, knowing perfectly well that a priest is no knight, and feudal law protects noble blood. Digges mocks a god who permits innocent suffering. Nicholas has no simple answer, but finally chooses responsibility over the comforting distance of doctrine and abstraction. The Lord calls power the only true God. He exposes Nicholas's past and forces him to confess the adultery and killing. The fugitive can no longer hide inside another story. Digges offers the troops safe passage if they leave. Nicholas refuses, then reveals the final piece of evidence. Thomas carried plague before meeting his tormentor. The Lord realizes he touched an infected child. Even facing death, he shows no remorse. He admits the crimes with chilling simplicity. He wanted to do them, and he could. The Geist strikes Nicholas with a mortal wound and leaves the church. Outside, however, his familiar world has changed. Informed citizens are waiting instead of obedient subjects. The townspeople close the castle gates, surround their lord, and hold their own judgment. His titles, soldiers, and connections stop working the moment collective fear disappears. The Giza's castle burns, but victory is expensive. Nicholas dies from his wound, finally ending his flight by sacrificing himself for an innocent woman he barely knew. The royal justice promises to tell King Richard about Nicholas's service. Sarah corrects him immediately. Nicholas acted neither for a king nor for the official political scheme. Martha is free. The town has broken the Guise's control, and the players prepare their wagon. They cannot restore Nicholas, but they can preserve what his choice accomplished. The company finally continues toward Durham. Their next play will not celebrate distant saints. It will remember a flawed fugitive priest who eventually chose truth over safety. I like this film despite its uneven pacing. Its strongest idea is beautiful. Performance can turn private knowledge into shared truth, and shared truth makes abuse of power vulnerable. Nicholas begins by minimizing earthly life and ends by risking everything for one woman. Guilt does not vanish, but a difficult moral choice can give it direction. Did you sympathize, disagree, or notice something missing? Tell everyone in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and join the next story. See you in the next video.